I have been using it for years. Jannik Sinner's doping saga revisited by former fitness coach in a bold stance. Tennis is a solo sport, but no victory or defeat happens in isolation. Jannik Sinner knows that all too well. The world number one found himself in the middle of a doping scandal after testing positive for clostebol, a banned substance. Sinner's defense was simple. Umberto Ferrara, his fitness coach, had purchased an over-the-counter spray in Italy that contained clostebol. The spray then ended up in the hands of his physiotherapist, Giacomo Naldi, who used it on a cut finger. Sinner claimed Naldi later gave him a massage, leading to the unintentional exposure. Once the news broke, Sinner cut ties with both Ferrara and Naldi. Now, the former fitness coach is speaking out for the first time. When the Italian tennis star tested positive, an independent tribunal ruled that there was no fault or negligence. He wasn't banned, and it looked like he would move on unscathed. But the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, wasn't having it. They appealed the case, arguing that athletes are responsible for their teams. Their demand? A one-year ban. Before things could escalate to a full-blown hearing, Sinner and WADA struck a deal. The 23-year-old accepted a 3-month suspension. Ferrara has now described what really happened that led to Sinner's positive doping test. Speaking to La Gazzetta dello Sport, he insisted that he was blameless and said, "I have been using it, trophadamine, for years as prescribed by the specialist doctor as a support drug for a chronic disease. I was perfectly aware of the ban and I have always kept it with the utmost caution, in my personal bathroom. I didn't give anything to Giacomo Inaldi, the physio. I suggested using it because he had a cut on a finger that didn't heal and made his job complicated." He claimed he had warned Naldi as well and said, "I was very clear in communicating to Naldi the nature of the product and that there was no need to get it in touch with Jannik. In fact, I only allowed it to be used inside my personal bathroom." Naldi did not deny that he had been informed, but said he did not remember. Regardless of who was at fault, both men were dismissed from Sinner's team. The Italian tennis player eventually moved on, bringing in familiar faces from Novak Djokovic's camp, Ulises Baggio and Marco Panicci. But did you know it was difficult to convince the world number one to accept the 3-month settlement? In my mind I know exactly what happened, and that's how I block it out. I haven't done anything wrong, that's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still playing, is what Jannik Sinner said during the Australian Open. Then what happened? Why did he accept a ban at all if he was innocent? His lawyer, Jamie Singer, explained to BBC Sport that it wasn't an easy decision. It was quite tricky to convince Sinner to take the offer. When I was saying, "Oh well, look, maybe we should settle for 3 months, he was saying, "Well, why would we do that if the first independent tribunal found it was no ban at all? Why would I accept 3 months now?" My advice was, one never knows what's going to happen at a hearing. We know that WADA are pushing for a year. If we don't accept their offer, then they will go to court looking for a year, and who knows what those 3 judges could do. So the possibility of 3 months, in my view, was a good possibility, he said. With the ban in place, Sinner's schedule took a serious hit. He is missing key events like the Sunshine Double, Monte Carlo, and the Madrid Open. His absence isn't just from competition. Until April 13th, he's also prohibited from practicing with professional players or attending ATP, WTA, or ITF events in any capacity. But there's a silver lining. He'll be back in time for the Italian Open on May 7th, giving him ample time to prepare for the French Open. His ranking cushion is also large enough that he should likely remain world number one upon his return. He may be out for now, but when he returns, will he be the same unstoppable force that took over the tour?